For a family that built its entire brand on transparency, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sure have a strange way of handling the truth. Archie's birth was meant to be a celebration, a royal milestone wrapped in joy. But instead, it became the spark of a growing controversy, pulling apart their narrative thread by thread. Why be secretive about labor and birth? Lest there's something to hide. Lest you're covering up a surrogate and staging a scene, it starts to feel suspicious. It begins with the hospital lore, the absence of one. Meghan claimed to give birth at Portland Hospital, but staff say May 6, 2019, was just another quiet day. No security lockdowns, no restricted access, no signs of a royal delivery. And while privacy is anyone's right, when you're part of the most watched family on earth, silence starts to look a lot like deception, especially when the facts don't line up. The first rule of PR: don't lie. Yet hospital records don't show Meghan's name. No security escort. No queen, no senior royals. That alone is unheard of for a baby seventh in line to the throne. And it didn't stop there. The press revealed 2 days later made things worse. Meghan looked flawless, almost staged. Her expression calm, her posture perfect to perfect. The baby hidden beneath tight layers, barely visible, felt posed, not maternal. That moment became viral gold for conspiracy theorists. But back then, people defended them. Let them have their privacy, they said. Now those same images are being re-examined. One red flag. The birth certificate. Meghan didn't sign it. Palisade-diddlate, redacted. Missing doctors. Missing protocol. Missing trust. For a couple obsessed with image, this silence was thunderous. Why not just sign? Why redact anything? Sources say Meghan rejected the Queen's doctors, opting for her own. On the surface, a modern choice. But in the royal world, births are state matters, not just family events. Diana, Catherine, they all followed tradition. Meghan broke it. Completely. Then came NDAs. Staff allegedly gagged. Rooms sealed at Frogmore, the Queen. She learned of the birth from a press release like the public. For her, it wasn't just chaos, it was betrayal. After decades of protocol, Meghan's secrecy felt like a rupture of royal trust. And now, as leaks emerge and sources speak, the narrative is crumbling fast. Refusing royal doctors meant no third-party confirmation, no checks, just her version, till someone calls the bluff. Now we have memos, eyewitnesses, even a former royal guard saying Meghan was never escorted under protection that day. And that's not a glitch, that's a gaping hole in the timeline. Royal births require detailed planning, escorts, decoys, precision. It's not optional. Yet nothing was logged. That's huge. Even inside the palace, whispers began. Frogmore, locked tight. Staff blocked from entire wings. No one knew the birth plan or if there even was one. When the official statement dropped, it only added fuel. Meghan was said to be in labor after Archie was already born. She was in the hospital but had already left. The timeline, broken. Reporters couldn't make sense of it. Then came the moon bump theory. Online sleuths dissected Meghan's photos. One clip appeared to show her bump fold as she crouched. At first, people laughed. But with each missing document, each off detail, the laughter faded. Why did Meghan's bump change shape so dramatically? Why did it sit high one day, low the next? Why was she always wrapped in oversized coats even indoors? These might seem like minor things. But in a family where appearance is everything, small details speak loudly. And then came the name Archie Harrison. It wasn't odd. It was ... intentional. Royals typically honor ancestors, keep ties to history. But this felt like a brand name, casual, American-friendly, deliberately distant from the crown. Some insiders say it was designed to detach, to personalize, to create something outside the royal system. The more you look, the more you wonder, was Archie's birth a family event or a carefully choreographed brand rollout? A royal title. Without royal oversight, a launch hidden behind symbolism. But it keeps circling back to one haunting question. Where exactly was Meghan on May 6, 2019? Because if she wasn't at Portland Hospital, royal security wasn't there, if even the Queen didn't know, then where was the birth? Who was really present? Who delivered that baby? And if the official story doesn't match the facts, was it ever true to begin with? Everything around Archie's arrival was wrapped in secrecy. And at some point, secrecy doesn't look like privacy yet. Looks like a cover-up. One of the most troubling clues. The legal web. Staff were reportedly forced to sign NDAs specific to the pregnancy. And these weren't general palace policies. Insiders say these were precise, worded to block discussion about Meghan's condition, her whereabouts, and the people involved during her final trimester. Staff who'd served generations of royal births said they'd never seen anything like it. Some weren't even allowed near certain wings of Frogmore Cottage. These weren't junior aides. These were trusted insiders. This wasn't normal, and then came the press delay. Meghan and Harry announced Archie's birth 8 hours after it supposedly happened. A confusing press release made it worse. And for a couple constantly speaking out against press intrusion, this level of narrative control felt suspicious. Then there was Queen Elizabeth. Sources close to the palace say she wasn't just uninformed, she was blindsided. No notice of the hospital plan, no news about labor. She learned about Archie's birth from the public announcement like everyone else. That didn't just break protocol, it broke trust. Behind palace doors, it shook her. She'd witnessed decades of royal birth siege, one guided by tradition and transparency. It felt like something else entirely. If Meghan simply wanted a private birth, she could have had it, quietly. But instead, the world watched as every step was stage managed. Every photo, every detail, every access point, controlled. And when someone controls the narrative that tightly, it's usually because there's something they don't want seen. But the most damning detail? The hospital's own position. Leaked reports now suggest there's no official record of Meghan giving birth at Portland Hospital. No added security, no reserved wing, no indication that a royal baby was born there at all. Just a quiet Monday. And now that NDAs are expiring or being ignored, the silence has shattered. People are talking, and what they're revealing is not just surprising, it's historic. A former royal protection officer confirmed Meghan was never assigned a security escort that day. No decoys, no scheduled transfer, no movement under royal protection. So if she wasn't at the hospital, didn't sign the certificate, didn't have palace oversight, and didn't follow standard medical protocol, then what did happen? Where was Archie really born? Was Meghan even pregnant? Or was this a royal illusion played out through polished photos and strategic press releases? For years, these questions lived online whispers in corners, theories written off. But now, the answers are surfacing, slowly, reluctantly, but they're coming. And if even a portion of what's being uncovered is true, the impact won't stop at Meghan and Harry. It will reach the heart of the monarchy. Because this isn't just about one birth. It's about a global brand built on trust. If that trust was based on fiction, then every piece of the story, every deal, every platform, every tear-filled interview begins to collapse. Not gently, but entirely.